I'm Bethany Anderson of Bethany Heals, and if life's been lifing lately, then you found me just in time. This is a pause, a permission slip to just be. And before we begin, let me remind you, your healing isn't on a timeline. Around here, we don't hustle our healing, we honor it. Trust that your intuition brought you here for a reason. So let's drop into our next archive episode. Hello, Soul Seekers, and welcome to archive episode number 4. Take 2, because I just deleted the entire episode by accident. So happy to be here with you yet again. I just wanted to start by just sending so much love to all of you. I was not expecting to receive so much love and heartfelt messages and people that reached out with the episode that I released last week, archive episode number 3, where I talked about my breakup with my long-term partner. It was not an easy episode to make. I actually recorded it the day after my breakup. I know, wild, but I'm just so excited to have created a space where others can not feel alone, where they can see that there's this whole real muggle life happening behind the woo-woo, and also that you can navigate and have both. I mean, that's what this is all about. So, in honor of my clients and my students, I wanted to answer a question that has been asked of me time and time and time again. Bethany, how do you do it? How do you just do the damn thing? You say you're going to do something and then boom, it's created. Boom, you've moved. I mean, the pivots are crazy. And I really sat down and thought about this because I wanted to bring it all the way back to my childhood. Like, wait, really? Where did this stem from? And what I could remember was my parents. You see, when I was growing up, my parents had me in every sport possible. Softball, kung fu, track. I did volleyball. I'm pretty sure I did basketball. I played the drums for years. I was a dancer for years. At one point, I was a child actor. Okay, y'all, I sucked at all of that, by the way. Except for the drums. The drums and the child acting, that probably could have gone somewhere. But I'm saying all of this because as I'm pivoting through my 15 sports careers as a six-year-old, my parents never shamed me or like criticized me for being terrible. They were just like, all right, finish the season. Let's try something else. And I think that really instilled this mindset in me that you can always start over. You can always do something different. Because why not? You know, I think as an adult, a perfect example of this is right after I graduated college, I was applying for a master's program in psychology. I wanted to be a high school counselor. Shout out to the high school counselors out there. Y'all inspired me onto this path of serving others. But my college advisor at the time had given me the wrong application deadline date. And I'm a fresh, young buck, 21-year-old. Why would I double check these things? So I'm about to submit my application and I realize that the application deadline had passed the week before. Oh my goodness, this new college graduate. If you could have seen the shock on my face. I had already had the whole plan. I was like, I'm going to graduate from undergrad. I'm going to go straight into my master's. Bada bing, bada boom. What do I do now? So I cried for that moment, for that day. And I remember waking up the next day and I was like, I'm going to move to Vegas. I'm going to go work in bottle service and I'm going to make so much money, and then I'll come back next year and apply. And so I did it. I drove out to Vegas from LA 3 separate times. I had 3 separate interviews at the Cosmopolitan. It was when they had first just about opened. And I got the job. And then I left. I packed up my car and I drove out there, which is kind of wild now that I think about it. But I just got the nudge and I followed it because I was so used to just experiencing new and different things, even if I sucked at it. And we know my move up here to Washington, which is really interesting. I stayed back an extra year in San Diego before I moved up here for my relationship, I will say, which definitely felt very weird and off brand for me. I've never done something like that before. But I remember telling my friends, like, yo, if he doesn't move with me when our lease ends next year, I'm out. Like, I will leave him, but I gotta go. I'm not happy in here anymore. I have to go. And I'm so grateful for my friend who reached out and reminded me of that conversation, because I was like, wow, I really do keep my word to myself. I love that. And I told my ex partner at the time the same thing. I was like, yo, I'm out next year when our lease ends, with or without you. And I made the move because I just know there's so much more that my soul is meant to experience. And so when you get into a space where you feel that nudge to do something new, to try or experience something different than you've ever done before, I want you to ask yourself this question. Why not? Ask yourself, why not? Why shouldn't I do this? And just notice the list of reasons or excuses that start to come up. Oh, my parents said I could never do this. Or, oh, my partner told me I should just stay in doing this. Or, I always thought I was supposed to stay in this role, in this position. Watch the list grow. And let me tell you about this list. Most of it involves other people. You see, we're raised in a culture where societal expectations and norms have designed specific pathways for us to walk down. And we're so in the matrix of those societal pathways that we truly believe that we're in this glass box, this glass jail, and you can't get out. But it's not real. You can break the glass jail and you can turn around. Make the U-turn, please. I guarantee you there's something better down there for you. But as you're noticing this list, these thoughts that come up, and it's just really our ego and our mind trying to protect us. And there's a place for the ego, there's a place for the mind. But in this instance, it's a no for me. But you're going to tell me that this big old list of why nots, none of them have a solution. Do they directly affect you? So if they involve someone else, that's not like obviously a child or someone that you may care for. But if it involves someone else, why are you taking responsibility over their life? Emphasis on their life. Why are you taking responsibility for the choices and actions of others? Don't you think that they deserve to have the opportunity to figure things out for themselves too? Now, looking at this list, is there another way? Usually. Now, will it be scary? Yes, probably. Yeah, you'll have plenty of lessons along the way. But that's just life. Now, I need to get real for a second. This decisive initiatory energy wasn't always used for good. In my teenage years and my early 20s, that was all used towards really harmful experiences towards myself and with others. It took me going through a fatal car accident that was my fault. It took me losing everything and having to start over from scratch. It took me years of healing and honesty and therapy to learn how to redirect that decisive initiatory energy into things that were actually beneficial for my life, into things that helped me to learn how to grow and to evolve in a way that was truly aligned with the person that I was always meant to become. So honestly, I'm just trying to save you a few years, okay? I'm just trying to save you some time so I can give you some insight and perspective that this is always a choice. You always have the choice to live differently, to do things differently. With each challenge or obstacle that you overcome, you gain a new skill. You learn something new about yourself. You see, what you're doing here is you're curating a life designed by you, not by other people or their opinions or their expectations of you. And I'm going to get morbid for a second. When you're lying on your deathbed and you're looking back on your life, are you really going to say, wow, I am so happy that I chose not to write that book? Because my friend, my dad, my partner, they all said it would be a waste of my time and my skills. They were better used elsewhere. Like, wow, I'm just so happy that I stayed in my comfort zone. That was the best decision that I ever made. Like, what? No. No. We're living differently here. We're living differently now. And if there's one thing that I've noticed that comes up the most when we get into these crazy pivot moments, is the energy of resistance. And I've seen it come up in my life, my clients and students. I've been in this world since 2016, okay? I've seen a lot. And resistance is the opposite of flow. It's what we push against. It's like, whoa, 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 this is unfamiliar. This is uncomfortable. I don't want to experience this. I feel safer and better over here. I'm going to push that away as far as I can. Why do you think it's showing up in your life? My mentor, she's going to be on the show. Absolutely love her. Catherine Schiff. Can't wait to have you on. Love you. She always says, what you resist, you become. And when you think about it, everything about you is in constant motion, down to your subatomic particles. Like, why are you resisting? When what you've been created for, what you're here to do, is to evolve. So that's my homework for you this week. What's that intuitive nudge that's been coming up for you? I want you to ask yourself, why not? So I'm so excited because, as you know, I have my free live and online gathering opening ceremony at the end of this month on the 27th. And this is just going to be a beautiful space. I would love to see your faces there. I'll link the free RSVP below. I've created this space so we can come together in community, find clarity together. I'm going to teach you the tools that have helped me in these pivot moments. And I want you to take that momentum with you to step into your next chapter. So I hope to see you there. And if you can't make it, RSVP anyways, because I'll send you the replay, because I am that one. And I just can't wait to chat with you in our next episode.